Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. Stand up for your country. So I have some bad news to report to you, and it doesn't affect you per se, but it certainly affects me, the No Spin News, and BillO'Reilly.com. We made a serious mistake last night in this broadcast, and I have to correct the mistake now and apologize to you and to Lester Holt at NBC News and other people who we did not report accurately on. So here's what happened. If you were watching the No Spin News last night, you heard me say that after the arrest last week of 8 individuals who crossed the southern border and are suspected ISIS terrorists, there was scant, word of the day, SCANT, coverage on the network news and even on the cable news outlets. And then we ran down who covered and who didn't. The problem was that my production team, and that includes me, had the wrong day. So we went into the lineups of the news organizations, all the networks and the cables, and we were looking at the wrong day. So I reported misinformation. This is the second time in 27 years that I have had to come on the air and apologize for a story that we blew. And there's a lot of blame to go around, but it's mostly my fault because I didn't check it. And so when I went on Leelert Vittert last night, News Nation, they did check it. And they knew that I misreported. And we had a discussion on the air about it, and it didn't go well for me. It's okay. I deserve it. News Nation is a good news outfit, unlike many of the others. Okay? It was my mistake. I have to check everything before I report it to you, because that's what we sell here on the No Spin News and BillO'Reilly.com. We don't sell a huge corporation like NBC and Fox and CNN. We are an independent news agency, so we have to be better, and we are better. Light years better. So this hurts. One more thing. The reason this happened is because when I saw the data that was given to me by my staff, I wanted to believe it was true. You guys know one of my mantras is people believe what they want to believe. Well, I wanted to believe that the corporate news agencies ignored the terror story because it made Joe Biden look bad. And they have done that hundreds of times over the past 3.5 years. And I said, yeah, there's another example, suppressing information that makes Biden look bad. So I didn't check it. And that's what happened. And I apologize. And it will never happen again, believe me. But it was primarily my fault. I'm Harry Truman. The buck stops here. Talking points. Americans are not voting for anything this presidential cycle. They are voting against. So if you are voting against Joe Biden, here's what you're objecting to. All right? Open borders. High prices for the essential of life, social disorder, lenient punishment for criminals, equity, the favoring of skin color, woke culture, higher taxes. Biden pledges to raise the corporate tax to 28%, which of course will pass all of that along to the consumer. Consumer will pay more for everything if Biden gets that done. Unlimited abortion, and massive climate change spending. Already $35 trillion in debt. If Biden gets reelected, it'll be $42 trillion by the time he gets out of there. It's not sustainable. Now, on the Trump front, you're voting against the former president's demeanor and the way he has conducted himself. You're not voting policy here because Trump was fairly successful. And you are voting against Trump's anti-progressive posture. Okay? He despises the progressive left. So this is probably, based on my research for confronting the presidents, the most negative presidential vote in history. Now, Andrew Jackson versus John Quincy Adams was close. I mean, people were voting against one or the other, not primarily for anyone there. This was the first Jackson run. Okay, it was a personality-driven thing, and it was vicious, absolutely vicious. When you read Confronting the Presidents, you'll see. But I think Biden-Trump is worse. And I know I'm voting against all the things that I just mentioned. I'm voting against them. I don't want open borders. I don't want equity. I don't want woke. I don't want higher taxes. I don't want any of the stuff that Joe Biden stands for. And remember, if he gets reelected, there's no constraints on him at all. None. You think it's bad now? Whoa. And that's the memo. Okay, President Biden's schedule today. He is quasi-legalizing about 10 million migrants. Okay? This is the DACA crowd. These are people who were brought by their parents to the United States when they were children. Okay? And I'll tell you what the executive order is in a moment. And then Biden goes out to McLean, Virginia for another fundraiser. Every day he's doing fundraisers. Okay? He's not solving problems. It was funny because I was on a radio today and I said, every time I run into a Biden supporter, I have only one question. Give me one example of a problem Joe Biden has solved in 3.5 years. One example. Can't do it. I never get an answer to that, ever. Okay, so Donald Trump is in Wisconsin bashing Biden. that's what he... So, Wisconsin swing state. Okay, so here's the Biden migrant situation. The children of people who snuck into this country are going to be legalized. So that's 500,000 human beings right now. If a DACA, and that's what they're called, DACA, a DACA person marries an American, as many of them do, of course, they can stay in the country and they'll get citizenship, unless they commit some kind of heinous crime. All right, so that's what Biden is doing. He's doing that because he signed that executive order toughening up the border, which was a total ruse. But the progressive left got angry, so he's throwing them this. That's what it is. This isn't a disaster, by the way. If you were taken here by an illegal alien parent when you were 4, it's not your fault. Okay, so I have a little sympathy for those folks. Okay, so now we learn, and this is coming from a Fox News report, but I believe it's true. There are more than 7 million backlogged cases in the customs enforcement and immigration. 7 million. That means you can't hear 7 million. That's how many people Biden have let in. You can't hear them. All these asylum cases, they'll never be heard because there's so many of them. And that's what an open border does. And then that doesn't include, they say 2 million gotaways. I think it's 4 because they don't really know, they being ICE and Homeland Security. And Mayorkas, the chief of Homeland Security, doesn't care. They'll never admit, ever admit, all these people snuck in and they don't know where they are, who they are. Many of them are criminals. So last night I addressed this issue in the form of terrorism. We all know that if you have an open border, terrorists are going to come into the United States. So are criminals, murderers, drug dealers, you name it. Borders open, they're coming. Why? Because they can make money here, the criminals, and the jihadists hate us and want to kill us. I mean, a 5-year-old can figure this out. All right, so the alarm is being sounded with the 8 arrests that I mentioned earlier of the Tajikis who are tied to ISIS by the FBI and ICE. That, you don't get more of an alarm than that. Here's what I said with Leland Vittert. Go. So last Wednesday, and you reported it, 8 migrants from Tajikistan were caught by the FBI and Homeland Security and linked to ISIS. They came across the southern border. And I'll tell you one more thing, and I hope it doesn't happen. If there is a terror attack before the November vote, Biden loses by a historic margin. It's through. He's done. And Ray and all the others, with the exception of Mayorkas, who's so out there, it's frightening. All the other law enforcement officials say there's a good chance that's going to happen. There's a good chance that we're going to have a terror attack in America because of the open border. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation supports America's greatest heroes, U.S. service members, and first responders who gave their lives, those catastrophically injured in the line of duty, and homeless vets. The foundation's Gold Star Fallen First Responder and Homeless Vet programs honor the sacrifices made by men who fought and died for us, and women who risked their lives for our country as well. The foundation's Never Forget program engages people in 9/11 remembrances across America with more than 80 runs, walks, and dozens of golf outings every year. The Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute educates kids from kindergarten through 12th grade about America's darkest day while helping our nation keep its vow to never forget. So please support Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month. Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. More than 95 cents of every dollar you donate to Tunnel to Towers goes to its programs. That's T, the number 2, another T.org. All right, let's go to the mail. We have Gregory. Sorry, Bill. I rarely disagree with you, but Obama clearly grabbed Biden's wrist in order to guide him off the stage. Well, what are you disagreeing with me, Greg? That's exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. Now, you premium and concierge members, you're getting a transcript. Now, I know people mishear. You got the dog howling, you got whatever you got, but that's exactly what I said. The Italy thing was shaky, but Obama grabbed Biden. All right, Richard. The last thing the Democrats wanted after the fundraiser in LA was to have Joe wander around, so Obama deliberately guided him to the exit. It was all planned. I think you're right. I absolutely think you're right that Barack Obama knew he had to get Biden off that stage. Carol, concierge member. Carol gets direct access to me, and I will help Carol through her life. I disagree with Bill, as Joe Biden was participating in a group activity, and instead of remaining with the group in Italy, he wandered off on his own, as many toddlers would do. But he was wandering off for a reason. He was greeting the skydivers. That part was cut out, Carol, so you can disagree with me, but I'm a fact-based guy. Okay, Robin Jasper, Hillsboro, Oregon. I'm angry at the Hollywood crowd for telling us to vote for Biden. Why? Because his policies don't hurt them. They can still go to the grocery store, buy whatever they want. They can fill their gas tanks as often as they need to. Crime doesn't hurt them in their gated communities. Absolutely right. These people live in a bubble. They don't associate with anybody that says anything they disagree with. And it's hurting them, no doubt about it, as Keith, concierge member, thank you, Keith, points out. I am so off Hollywood. These so-called elites, who do they think watches and pays for the movies that make it to the theaters or Netflix, et cetera? They have hurt themselves. Just George Clooney alone. I mean, I have a long beef with him. I would say we're enemies. I would say that's accurate because of the 9/11 telethon, and he wouldn't help me get the money to the folks. And he's as arrogant as he possibly be. What is his career? What is he? He sells booze, I think. Doesn't he sell booze, or he sold his booze operation? Would you go see George Clooney movie? I tried to watch the Boys in the Boat movie he directed. I couldn't get through it. So dull it was. But anyway, that's not an objective, and I admit that. Bruce Kesselman, Las Vegas. Will you be interviewing Jake Tapper to get him on the record that CNN is not giving Biden the debate questions in advance? Nobody at CNN is ever going to sit with me for an interview. Come on. CNN is not going to give Biden the debate questions in advance. He did too much to lose. Now, I know Donna Brazile gave Hillary Clinton the thing, but Donna Brazile did that on her own. The CNN didn't say, hey, Donna, give Hillary the question. No. They get caught doing that, CNN, it is completely over. Christine O'Connor, Scottsdale, Arizona. CNN may not give the questions in advance to the Biden White House, but maybe the White House will give suggestions to the moderators. Yeah, anybody can give suggestions. I gave a suggestion to Trump yesterday. A good one. Marlene Stadler, Canal, Winchester, Ohio. I have not been to Canal, Winchester. Bill, I'm concerned about the debate. I think the Democrats want this just to get President Trump to look like a bully. They know Trump will annihilate Biden and hope it will turn even the Trump people away from voting for him because he might get so mean. Well, that's on Trump. You know, if he gets mean, it's not going to help him with the independents. The MAGA people love it, but the independents, and he needs them. I see your point. Laura Grosseth, Overland Park, Kansas. I hope Donald Trump will act presidential in the debates. No name calling, belittling. Belittling's okay. I would. I would call Biden, if I were debating him, the second worst president in our nation, as I do in Confronting the Presidents, my book, and I back it up 50 different ways, okay? But no name calling. Second worst president is a description. Okay. Roger, O'Reilly and Hansen. This is our interview last night. It was such a delight to listen to two avid, knowledgeable historians conversing. That was a great segment. Well, I appreciate that, Roger. You know, Victor Davis Hanson is a brilliant man. And we're going to have Jonathan Turley on next week. He's another brilliant man. And these guys are worth listening to. There aren't many. There are not many on TV worth listening to. But Hanson and Turley are. Kyler Hewells, Dunkirk, New York. I'm a college student studying criminology and international security. I just picked up Killing the Mob and Killing the Killers. Thank you for your work. It will be a good summer reading those books. You bet. Both Killers and Mob in your line of study will really help you. And those books move along. You can read those on the beach, and all of a sudden it's 4 in the afternoon. It goes fast. Okay, we're going to have a big 4th of July blowout sale here on BillO'Reilly.com on the store. And that starts tomorrow. And we'll give you a little preview. You get a Not Woke mug, and these are our most successful mugs ever. We will send you a Stand Up for Your Country 4th of July theme mug for just $10. All right? And these are mugs that'll last your whole life, made in America. And then we have Confronting the Presidents. I mention it a lot because it is now past all advanced sales for all of my other books, even Killing Jesus. So we have 2 months to go till September 10th when it comes out. And the advanced sales on Confronting the Presidents are now #1 in the Killing series. Not a killing book, but you get the gist. This is a hot book. If you order in advance, we don't bill you until we ship. Okay, so you're not losing any money. And you get it first. Word of the day, do not be dogmatic. Now, this has nothing to do with hounds. Okay, it's DOGMATIC, dogmatic. We don't want that. All right, we got a final thought about families who are yelling at each other. That happen in your family? We'll deal with it in a moment. Are you overwhelmed with back taxes or unfiled returns? With 88,000 newly hired IRS agents, That agency has increased enforcement, issuing millions of pay-up notices this year alone. So don't face the IRS alone. Tax Network USA can help you. As the nation's premier tax relief firm, they've negotiated more than $1 billion in tax relief for their clients. Services include penalty forgiveness, hardship programs, and offer in-compromise solutions. So are you behind on taxes? Whether it's $10,000 or $10 million, they can help. Protect your financial security. Contact Tax Network USA for strategic advice on reducing or eliminating your tax debt. To schedule a complimentary consultation, please call 800-245-6000, or you can visit tnusa.com. Don't let the IRS control your life. Empower yourself with Tax Network USA support. Take charge of your financial future. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. All right, here is the final thought of the day. So as you know, the concierge membership on BillO'Reilly.com is booming far more than I ever thought it would. And we have a whole area assigned. We try to answer your direct questions to me within 24 hours. Most of the time, we're successful in doing that. Okay, one of the themes of concierge members is asking me for advice about family strife. Okay, that almost every family in the world has tension inside the family. And it's hard to deal with it because it's so emotional. You know, if your kids let you down, or they're disrespectful or disobedient, they get into drugs, they get into bankruptcy, or if your parents are crazy and they were abusive, and they're, or your aunt and uncle, and, you know, on and on and on and on and on. I give good advice in these areas because my first thing is to say, bring it down. But there's a more important component to family structure, because family is the most important thing. I mean, religion, family, country. And they're all, I think religion and family are over country, but they're all interconnected. You have to give warnings, not only to family, but for other people too. But you give them in a polite way, not in a snarling way. But you have to warn, okay? And the way that I direct concierge members to do it is no emotion. Just state the facts and don't debate, because the person you're warning is not going to be happy about being warned. So for example, if there's a kid who's late teens or early adulthood who's doing destructive things, and you catch on, and you should, all right, you should be able to do that. You pull the kid aside in a very kind way. You say, look, this road is going to lead to destruction for you and massive pain, and I'm here to help you on it. So if the kid is disrespectful to you or his mom or dad, whatever it may be, say, you know, it's honor your father and your mother. There's a reason that's a commandment. Honor. Even if your father and mother are flawed, as all parents are, you still have to honor them. The society that knows that the best is Japan. But in America, boy. But anyway, all you can do is just warn. You can say, if you do this, or continue to do this, this is what is likely to happen to you. Many times that warning will not be heeded. And by the outside too. There's somebody annoying you, somebody doing a destructive thing to you or your family, warn them. Don't yell. Get ahead of it. Confrontation comes when the warning is ignored. It's called critical mass. Then you have to get tough, right? And I'm teaching my son right now, who's going to get into public service, I believe. That's what he wants to do. It's a step. It's a ladder. Okay? The first step when you see something wrong is to warn the person in a respectful way. This is wrong. Okay? Maybe we work together to make it right. All right? I'm here to help. A lot of times that's going to be rejected. A lot of times. The second step is basically saying, knock it off. And the third step is to make them knock it off. And there are a variety of ways to do it, which is why your concierge membership, I'll tell you how to do it without getting sued or beat up or whatever. This is a violent country we live in. America is a violent country. And we all have to realize that. And you don't want to do anything to put yourself at risk. But there are other ways to do it. And that's why we're in business here, to help you, particularly in a family situation, right the wrongs, get a good relationship going again. And if you can't, then there's got to be an exit for you. And I'll, again, tell you. So we hope you check out concierge membership, but even if you don't, the first warning to anyone should be gentle. Second warning, a little more stern. Third warning, then it's serious. Okay. Again, we apologize for the mistake we made last night. And I can pretty much assure you that only 2 in 27 years, it won't happen again. Because I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. All right. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.